The British-born actress Barbara Steele has a face, a look, unlike anyone else in movies. Most of her Italian-made horror films, particularly Mario Bava's Black Sunday, are modern-day cults. She does what few actresses are capable of doing. She lets you see both destruction and delight in the same pair of eyes.
Once you see Barbara Steele, you know, you never forget her, you know. She's probably one of the real only, like, horror goddesses, you know, actresses ever, really, in the sense that there's a timelessness which she has in terms of, like, you know, she seems like an old soul that's been around forever, reincarnated zillions of times into many different incarnations.
What do you want?
There was a depth to her. On the surface, she was a beautiful brunette woman. Beneath that, and you could almost get poetic here, looking into her eyes, you could see layer upon layer upon layer. I could probably best and inadequately describe it as a kind of exotic mystery.
I usually played these roles where I was represented the dark side. I was always a predatory bitch goddess in all of these movies, and with all kinds of unspeakable elements of necrophilia and rising from the dead and perpetuating curses. Then what is life without a dark side? What do you have? You've got Switzerland, you've got Heidi, you know. Hopefully Heidi's got a dark side. What have you got, the cuckoo clock? I mean, please, you know. So drama, the driving force of drama is the dark side. I was studying painting in London at the Chelsea Art School, and some talent scout saw me, and I signed this deal. That's how I came to the States. I don't know why the studio got into their head to make me a blonde, but this is something that they did. I felt like a total lie as a blonde, because it didn't suit my nature, which is pretty dark. And I said to myself, I'm out of here. I found myself in Rome, and I was wildly grateful to be in Italy. It felt right. I felt centered. I felt embraced and adored. It was like living in the middle of Beethoven's Fifth or something. I find it very interesting that in this great period of phenomenal optimism in Italy that these horror movies came out, because the dark side is always going to express itself somewhere. And the kickoff was Black Sunday.
My revenge will strike down you and your accursed house, and in the blood of your sons and the sons of their sons, I will continue to live immortal. They will restore to me the life that you now rob from me. I shall return to torment and destroy throughout the nights of time.
These women that I played were usually very powerful women, and they suffered for it. And I guess men like that, because you saw these powerful women that usually adulteresses, full of lust, greed, playing out all this arena of repressed stuff, And then I always, in the end, seemed to get it. And there was always this sort of morality play, this sort of final payoff. And that was very consoling to everybody because, i.e., quote, the dark goddess can't just go on wreaking hubris and havoc ad infinitum. She gets her comeuppance, too.
I'm going to torture you, Isabella. I'm going to make you suffer for your faithlessness to me. You harlot!
What I think these films do is that they basically fill you with a psychic dread, and they address the soul.
Well, when I was younger, my room, my parents boarded up my room. I had 2 big windows, and they boarded it up to like a small kind of slit window. And seeing movies like Pit and the Pendulum, and when you see her eyes like glaring out of the Iron Maiden, you know, I could certainly relate to that, looking out my window, you know, and feeling those, that kind of trapped feeling. Those Italian horror films, I always found them to be actually psychologically, made me feel comfortable. Actually, there's something about her and those films that do tap into the unconscious and make you actually feel better about the abstractions of life.
Oh, thank heavens. For a moment I thought that your heart had stopped.
My heart isn't beating, Alan. It hasn't beaten for 10 years. I'm dead, Alan. Dead.
A number of the pictures that Barbara made in the 60s, like Castle of Blood and The Long Hair of Death and some other, The Ghost, some other pictures, although they played on double bills in drive-ins and grindhouses, they were a little sexually more daring than certainly the domestic pictures. And even though most of them had been re-edited before they got to America, it was very difficult to take out all of the undertones of necrophilia and lesbianism.
Don't cry. You're safe now.
I liked doing all of these scenes that had these forbidden aspects to them. Necrophilia, incest, all these violent kind of repressed emotions. I like that a lot.
Kiss me, warm me.
I think that's really a great arena to work in.
Alan, my dearest, you will give me life.
I believe